Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Everyday English Podcast. I am Sarah, and I am so happy you are here with us today for another session of listening practice and vocabulary building.
And I am Mark. Hello, everyone. It is great to be back in the studio. Today, we have a very special episode planned for you. It is practical, it is modern, and it is something that happens to every single one of us.
That is right, Mark. In our last recommended lesson, we listened to a conversation about computer viruses and hardware problems. We learned words like infected files and acting up. But today, we are going to talk about something even more common. We are going to talk about the internet.
Specifically, we're talking about what happens when the internet stops working during a conversation. Mark, have you ever been on a video call, maybe a Zoom meeting or a Skype call, and suddenly the other person stops moving? Oh, absolutely. It happens all the time. It is one of the most stressful moments in modern life. You are in an important meeting or maybe a job interview, and suddenly the screen freezes. You don't know if they can hear you or if you should keep talking. It's a panic moment.
Exactly. It is a panic moment. And when we panic, we often forget our English. We just say, hello, hello, can you hear me? Over and over again. So today, we are giving you the Bad Connection Survival Kit. We are going to teach you the exact phrases you need to handle these technical problems calmly and professionally.
I love that title, the Survival Kit, because it really does feel like survival sometimes. By the end of this episode, you will know how to tell someone their audio is bad, how to explain that your camera is not working, and how to politely interrupt a meeting when the connection fails.
And remember, listening to a long conversation like this is the best way to train your ears. We will speak slowly and clearly so you can understand every word. If you want to improve your fluency, try to shadow us. That means you repeat the phrases right after we say them. Let's get started. Mark, imagine we are on a call. Everything is going well. And then suddenly my voice starts sounding strange. Maybe it sounds like a robot, or maybe parts of words are missing. What is the best verb to use here?
That is a great question. Many students want to say, Sarah, your voice is destroying or your voice is stopping, but the natural phrasal verb we use is breaking up. We say, Sarah, you are breaking up.
Breaking up. This is such a useful phrasal verb. In a romantic relationship, breaking up means ending the relationship. But in technology, it means the audio signal is not continuous. It's breaking into little pieces.
Exactly. It sounds like puzzle pieces are missing from the sentence. So if you cannot hear me clearly because the signal is bad, you should say, I'm sorry, Mark, you are breaking up. Let's try that. Listen and repeat. I am sorry, you are breaking up.
That is perfect. It is polite and it clearly explains the problem. Now, Mark, what if the problem is not the quality of the sound, but the timing? I say something and then 2 seconds later you hear it.
That is very annoying. We call that a lag. L-A-G, lag. It is a noun, but we can also use it as a verb. You can say, there is a lag on the line, or you can simply say, the audio is lagging.
Lag means a delay. It comes from an old word meaning to fall behind. So if my voice arrives later than my lip movements, I am lagging. This is very important for our listeners who are taking English exams like the IELTS or TOEFL. If you are describing a technical problem in a speaking test, using the word lag shows high-level vocabulary.
That is a great tip. So we have you are breaking up for bad quality, and the audio is lagging for a delay. But Sarah, there is one more audio problem that happens in almost every single meeting. It's when someone is talking, their mouth is moving, but there is absolutely no sound.
The classic mistake. We have all done it. You forgot to turn on your microphone. In English, we say, you are on mute.
You are on mute. Notice the preposition on. We do not say you are in mute or you are with mute. It is always on mute. It is like being on air or on a break. It's a state of being.
So if you see someone talking silently, do not shout, I cannot hear you, immediately. Just say politely, excuse me, I think you are on mute. It is helpful and friendly. Let's practice those 3 audio phrases together. I will say the problem, and Mark, you say the phrase. Ready? Ready. Okay, the sound is choppy and robotic. You are breaking up. The sound is arriving 3 seconds late. There is a lag. I can see your mouth moving, but no sound is coming out. You are on mute. Excellent. If you are listening at home, I hope you said them out loud too. Now let's move from our ears to our eyes. Let's talk about video problems.
This is where things get really awkward. Sometimes the internet connection is so slow that the video image stops moving. It becomes a still photograph. Sarah, what is the word for this?
We use the word frozen, like ice. The screen is frozen, or you are frozen. Frozen is the past participle of freeze, so you can say, the screen has frozen. But usually, in the moment, we just use it as an adjective. You are frozen. Sarah, is there a difference between saying, you are frozen and my screen froze? That is a subtle but important difference. If I say you are frozen, I am suggesting the problem might be on your side, or I am just describing what I see. If I say my screen froze, I am taking responsibility. I am admitting that my computer or my internet is the problem. That is a very good point. If you want to be polite, it is often better to blame the technology, not the person. You can say, I think my connection is unstable. Unstable is a fantastic word. It is the opposite of stable. A stable connection is strong and steady. An unstable connection goes up and down, good and bad. If you get a warning message on your computer, it often says internet connection is unstable. And do you remember the phrase we learned in our previous video about the computer virus? We learned the phrasal verb acting up. Can we use that here? Absolutely. If your camera is turning on and off, or if the colors look strange, you can say, my camera is acting up again. It means it is behaving badly or not working properly. It gives the idea that the machine has a personality and is being naughty. I love that phrase. It makes the problem sound less serious. Sorry guys, my camera is acting up. It sounds very natural. Now Mark, I want to talk about something that makes English learners very nervous, interrupting. Oh yes, interrupting is scary. In many cultures, interrupting someone is very rude. But when you have a technical problem, you have to interrupt. If I am speaking for 5 minutes, but you cannot hear me, you need to stop me. Exactly. You cannot just let me keep talking, but you need to do it politely. You cannot just shout stop or wait. That sounds aggressive. We need what I call soft entry phrases. Soft entry phrases. I like that. So instead of stop, what should I say? A great phrase is, sorry to cut in. To cut in means to enter the conversation or to interrupt the flow. Sorry to cut in, but I think we lost you for a second. We lost you. That is interesting. We did not lose the person like we lost our keys. We lost the connection, but we shorten it to we lost you. It sounds very gentle. It implies that we want to hear you, but we cannot. Yes, it is much better than saying you stopped talking. Saying we lost you implies a connection failure. So the full sentence is, sorry to cut in, Mark, but I think we lost you for a moment. Could you repeat that? That is perfect. It is professional, polite, and clear. Another option is, sorry to interrupt, but you are breaking up. Right, so the formula is apology plus reason. Sorry to interrupt, apology, but you are breaking up, reason. This formula works for almost any bad situation in English. Let's try a role play. This is a great way for our listeners to see how these phrases fit together in a real conversation. Sarah, you are going to tell me about your weekend, and I am going to have some technical problems. Okay, sounds fun. I will start. So last Saturday, I decided to go to the beach because the weather was so beautiful. I packed a lunch and drove down to the coast. But when I arrived, sorry to cut in, Sarah, but you are breaking up a little bit. Oh, really? Is it better now? Yes, that is better. But there is a bit of a lag. You were saying you drove to the coast? Yes, I drove to the coast and... Sarah, I think you are frozen. And then I saw a dolphin. Sorry, Sarah, I think we lost you for a second. The screen froze just as you were talking about the drive. Did you say you saw a dolphin? Yes, a dolphin. Can you hear me clearly now? Yes, loud and clear. Go ahead. End of role play. That was excellent, Mark. You used sorry to cut in, you are breaking up, and we lost you, and you stayed calm the whole time. And you noticed, Sarah, that when I interrupted, I checked to see where the conversation stopped. I asked, did you say you saw a dolphin? This is called checking understanding. It helps the other person know where to restart their story. That is a crucial skill. If you just say, I couldn't hear you, the person doesn't know if they need to repeat the whole story or just the last sentence. By asking a specific question, you save time. This brings us to a very specific type of listening practice. In English exams like IELTS listening, Part 1, you often have to listen to a conversation involving a problem. They might ask you to identify what exactly went wrong. That is right. So let's do a mini exam task right now. We are going to describe a technical problem, and you, the listener, need to identify what the problem is. Is it a microphone issue, a camera issue, or an internet speed issue? Okay, scenario number 1. Listen carefully. I can see you nodding your head, but I am not getting any audio on my end. Check your settings, please. What is the problem here? The speaker says I can see you, so the video is fine, but they say I am not getting any audio. This suggests the other person is speaking, but no sound is arriving. This is a microphone issue. The person is likely on mute.
Correct. Scenario number 2. Everything you say is coming through about 5 seconds after your lips stop moving. It is really hard to have a conversation. What is the problem here? The key phrase is 5 seconds after. There is a delay. This is an internet speed issue causing a lag. Exactly. And scenario number 3. The image is just stuck on my screen. I can hear you perfectly, but your face is not moving at all. What is the problem here? The key word is stuck, and face is not moving. This is a camera or a video issue. The person is frozen. Well done. If you could identify those problems, you are ready for those tricky exam questions. It is all about listening for the key words: see, hear, moving, sound, delay. Now, we have talked about the problems. We have talked about how to report them, but we also need to talk about how to fix them. What are the verbs of solution? This is where phrasal verbs become your best friends. If your computer is acting up, the first thing you usually do involves your account. You leave and come back. In English, we say log out and log back in. Log out and log back in, not leave the meeting or close the meeting. Those are okay, but log out is the technical term for signing out of a system, and log back in means to enter your credentials again. It is the magic fix. 90% of the time, if you log out and log back in, the problem disappears. But sometimes the problem is your router or your modem. That is the box that brings the internet into your house. What do we do to that box? We restart it, but a more casual, slightly technical word we often use is reboot. I'm going to reboot my router. Reboot sounds very capable. It sounds like you know what you're doing, but be careful. Restart and reboot mean to turn it off and on again. Do not say reset unless you mean it. Reset usually means returning the machine to its factory settings, erasing all your data. That is a very dangerous warning. Do not reset your router in the middle of a meeting. You will lose your password and settings. Just restart or reboot it. Another common solution, especially if you're on a mobile phone, involves changing your source of internet. You might move from your house Wi-Fi to your phone's cellular network. We call this switching. Right. You can say, my Wi-Fi is unstable, so I'm going to switch to data, or I'm going to switch to my hotspot. To switch to means to change from one thing to another. Let's practice these solution sentences. Imagine you are in the meeting, you have identified the problem, and now you are telling the other person what you are going to do. Mark, try this one. You want to leave the meeting and return to fix a sound issue. I would say, I'm going to log out and log back in. I will be right back. Perfect. Note the future tense, I am going to. You are announcing your plan. Now, imagine your Wi-Fi is terrible. You want to use your phone's internet instead. I would say, my Wi-Fi is acting up. I'm going to switch to data. Excellent. And finally, the classic solution for a frozen computer. I need to restart my computer. Bear with me for a minute. Ooh, I like that phrase. Bear with me. Can you explain that? It has nothing to do with the animal, right? No bears involved. Bear with me means please be patient with me. It is a very polite, slightly formal phrasal verb. B-E-A-R, bear with me. It is perfect for professional situations when you are making people wait while you fix a technical problem. Bear with me. That is going in my vocabulary notebook. It is much better than just saying wait. So let's put it all together. The Bad Connection Survival Kit has 3 main parts. Part 1, identify the problem using specific words like breaking up, lagging, or on mute. Part 2, interrupt politely using soft entry phrases like sorry to cut in or I think we lost you. And Part 3, announce your solution using verbs like log out, switch to, or restart. If you use this kit, you will never feel panic during a bad connection again. You will look like a confident, fluent English speaker who can handle any situation. And speaking of handling situations, we have a small challenge for you today. We want you to look at your own computer or phone setup. Find one thing that occasionally gives you trouble. Maybe your headphones sometimes disconnect. Maybe your battery drains too fast.
Write a sentence about it using the vocabulary from today or our previous episode. For example, my headphones are acting up, or my battery drains really fast. Say this sentence out loud to yourself in the mirror 3 times. Why in the mirror? Because it helps you get used to seeing yourself speak English. It builds confidence. And if you are feeling brave, you can subscribe to our channel and leave that sentence in the comments below. We love reading your examples. Subscribing is also the best way to make sure you do not miss our next episode. We are going to continue exploring English for your daily life, moving from technology to something very different but equally important, English for your health and doctor visits. That is a very important topic. You do not want to be stuck in a pharmacy with the right words, so make sure you hit that bell icon so you get notified when that lesson is ready.
Before we go, I want to share one last tip about tone. When we have technical problems, we often get frustrated. Our face looks angry, our voice gets loud.
That is true. We frown at the screen.
But remember, the person on the other side cannot help the internet connection either. If you look angry, they might think you are angry at them. So my tip is, when you say these phrases, "Sorry, you are breaking up," try to smile.
A smile can be heard in your voice. It keeps the situation friendly. It says, we have a problem, but we are solving it together.
Exactly. Technology is imperfect, but your manners can be perfect. Keep it light, keep it polite, and keep practicing. Thank you so much for joining us today on the Everyday English Podcast. We know you have many choices for listening practice, and we appreciate that you chose us. We hope you have a week with a strong signal, clear audio, and zero lag. But if things go wrong, now you know exactly what to say.
I am Mark.
And I am Sarah.
See you next time.
Bye, everyone.